Hey guys. So, it is the day after Christmas. For those of you who celebrate, I hope you had a great holiday. This is the last day of Conspiracy Christmas. Today, I am not feeling too good. I think I got something from family members over the holidays, but I feel like utter crap. But I was like, you know what? I can still do this. I can still throw in a hat and do a video for you guys. All of the conspiracy theories I've done this month have been really intense and kind of terrifying. I was like, since we've been a little dark this month, we should end with something a little more fun. So today I am going to be doing one of my most requested videos, and that is for The Simpsons predicting stuff. And I'm sorry for how nasally I probably sound. Now, if you didn't know, The Simpsons have predicted a ton of things, including Trump's presidency, down to where he was when he announced it, the escalator. Well, don't get too excited because they actually didn't. It's really funny. There are so many memes on the internet about The Simpsons predicting Donald Trump's presidency, and I get sent them all of the time. But what people should probably know is that episode of The Simpsons where they predicted him coming down the escalator and running for president, that episode actually came out after Donald Trump had already run for president. But they have predicted quite a few other things. I went through and I picked the ones I thought were most interesting. Let's go through some of the predictions that The Simpsons have made. Lady Gaga's Super Bowl performance. In one of their episodes, they showed Lady Gaga doing a performance.
Oh, my monsters are beautiful, disco stutiful, square rootiful. Old Cootiful. I love you!
In the episode, they have the Lady Gaga character flying around the stage on like a zip line or a harness system, and Lady Gaga ended up doing the same thing.
Liberty and justice for all.
And who's to say that Lady Gaga didn't get inspiration from them? Giant mutated tomatoes. In the episode, Homer poisons his crops with tobacco and they ended up being mutated.
That's odd. The outside looks like a tomato, but the inside is brown.
Maybe the tomato seeds crossbred with the tobacco seeds.
Oh great, I got a field full of mutants.
Now this actually happened, but not from tobacco, in Japan, near a nuclear plant. All these crazy vegetables started growing in the area, just huge and deformed. Is this a coincidence or is it a prediction? I'd love to know your thoughts. Before smartwatches came around, The Simpsons had a smartwatch in one of their episodes where someone was able to talk to their watch.
The world's attention is focusing on smartwatches. I think this is our time to shine.
Now, is this a prediction or is this kind of like predicting technology based on where it's going? I don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts again. Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. This one is pretty damn interesting. Okay, so back in 1993, The Simpsons kind of spoofed on Siegfried and Roy, who were these magicians that worked with animals, and they did, you know, shows all over the world. And in one of the episodes, they get mauled by one of the tigers that they're working with. What's crazy is that in 2003, this actually happened to them.
Roy Horn near death incident.
I got a stroke. When I fall down, the blue eyes still looking at me. Like, what now? What happened? He severed my artery.
Roy was actually brutally attacked in his neck by one of his tigers, which he never thought could happen. He thought he had great control of his tigers. So that's a pretty specific prediction and very, very interesting. Europe trying to get rid of Greece. As many of you know, in 2015, Greece suffered an economic collapse, really bad financial issues. In 2013, there was an episode called Politically Inept. And in the episode, Homer Simpson is being interviewed on TV and the bottom ticker says, Europe puts Greece on eBay. So did they predict that Europe would try to get rid of Greece? The horsemeat scandal. In 1994, there was an episode of The Simpsons where there was scandal going on in their school. The cafeteria was using horse meat as an ingredient in their food. And people like to say that Burger King ended up selling horse meat. Burger King actually just dropped a supplier that was connected to horse meat, weirdly enough.
They pointed the blame at Silvercrest, a processing company in Ireland that has also come under fire for providing major UK supermarkets with horse meat.
So we're not sure if there were traces of horse meat in their food. Well, I don't know about that one, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's other establishments out there where we're eating like fucking horse meat. Number 7, rigged voting machine. In a 2008 episode, they made a joke about voting machines not working correctly. In the episode, Homer goes to choose Obama as his choice for president, and it switches it over to John McCain.
One of those electronic voting dealies.
1 vote for McCain. Thank you.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
2 votes for McCain.
Come on, it's time for a change.
3 votes for McCain.
No, no, no! This machine is rigged!
Now, this actually did happen. In 2012, actually, there was a voting machine that would change people's votes to Romney, actually. Kind of blows my mind because it makes me just question our whole voting system. But that machine was removed. Disney taking over 21st Century Fox. In 1998, there was an episode of The Simpsons called When You Dish Upon a Star, and in that episode, there is a sign outside of a building that says 20th Century Fox, a division of Walt Disney Company. Now this is really interesting because very recently, Disney did buy 21st Century Fox. It was a deal for $52.4 billion. So, did they predict that one? That one's pretty interesting. Three-Eyed Fish. In an episode in 1990, Bart actually catches a three-eyed fish in a river, and the fish in the episode was mutated because of the nuclear power plant nearby and pollutants and contaminants in the water.
Lead to light!
Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3.
And what's crazy is that in 2011, there was a fish, a three-eyed fish, exactly like the one in the episode, found in a river in Argentina that was close to a nuclear plant. In the year 2000, there was an episode of The Simpsons that was kind of futuristic. It's called Bart to the Future. In the episode, Lisa ends up being very, very similar looking to Hillary Clinton. And in the episode, Lisa, as president, comes up to the stand and says, we are dealing with a deficit left by President Trump and that he left the country in financial bankruptcy.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke.
It's really interesting that they predicted that Trump would be president. Now, this isn't as cool as people think it is because back then when this episode was made, Trump actually did run for president as a third-party candidate, but he ended his campaign in February of 2000. But they were kind of mocking it off that. I don't know if they knew or would know that Trump would actually become president one day. I think it was all kind of a joke, but that's the world we live in these days when jokes become reality. So I don't know what I think about all this. I think The Simpsons are very creative and there are so many things that they've predicted that haven't come true, and The Simpsons have been on forever. So many episodes, so much information, so many futuristic things, predictions. I think most of these things are just due to the fact that The Simpsons have been on for so long. Like, they're guaranteed to get some things right. And that's my issue with anyone who makes predictions, honestly. I find it super interesting and I always love to learn about people like Baba Vanga, Nostradamus and stuff. Part of the reality of that is that they only get a very small percentage of their predictions right. I'm not saying I don't believe in psychics because I think some people definitely have a sense. There's so many things that The Simpsons have predicted that haven't come true that it's kind of hard to say they're predicting the future. But there's a lot of people out there that think maybe the writers are working with a psychic or the producer's a time traveler. I mean, who really knows? Any of those things are possible, or they have some type of inside information ahead of time, but some of these things were just bizarre coincidence that you couldn't have possibly had any future knowledge of. But they're not the only show that has predicted stuff. In fact, South Park has predicted things. There are other cartoon series that predicted things, movies. There's so many examples of our content predicting things in the future. And I think that's because as humans, we like to guess what's gonna come, and some of it actually comes true, especially the most creative minds, which the people that work on The Simpsons are super, super creative. So I think a lot of this is just bizarre coincidences that came true, in my opinion. But I'd love to know what you guys think. I'd love to know your thoughts, so leave me a comment below. That's it for me today, guys. I hope you're having a great day. Hopefully I feel better by Thursday, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.